All right, boys and girls, this is video number 2. I wanted to make this separate. I forget what I was going to say, but I was going down a tangent, or we're getting ready maybe go on a tangent down a road that I didn't want to go through with on the previous video I was making because I didn't want to mix the themes or the ideas. But I'm watching TV and I'm seeing all this attention being focused on racial issues, racial sensitivity, white privilege, the plight of black people, ending racism, etc. And I'm not saying these are bad things. I'm not saying the anti-racism movement is a bad thing. Because as you know, in my book, there is no good or bad, right or wrong. What I may want to say is the hyper anti-racist movement momentum that seems to be happening right now concerns me. Number one, there will be backlash. That's what humans do. If the pedestal swings too much this way, there's going to be a force to bring us back. That's just what natural humans do. And if we didn't, it probably would hurt in our survival. That's just what we do. We just try to bring things to balance naturally. There's no groups that's going to get together and say, we got to combat this, combat that. It's just going to be naturally people, probably like me, contrarian or whatever, who are just going to go pull back a little bit because everybody's running that way. Everybody's running that way. I'm naturally going, well, what's back that way? I want to see what's back that way if everybody going that way. And if everybody agrees on something, I'm the one who says, whoa, let's pull back a little bit. Let's pull back. Let's not jump on the bandwagon, everybody, yet. Let's not all jump on the same boat and not knowing exactly where that boat's going to go. But the intensity of which racial discussions and focus on black people and what the one that really bothers me, or not bothers me, I shouldn't say it bothers me. The one that gets me is the effort or the tendency to put the issue on white people. With the silence is violence. And to actually, there's an actual almost movement or component of the movement that is directed at white people with like a laser focus to the point of almost shaming them or guilting them into and being anti-racist. And it's in the way it's worded, it's like they can't win, even if they weren't racist. It's even some of the definitions. You listen to these things, they're like saying, well, even if it's like you could not be racist, but you need to still look closer. You need to find that little thing. You may not, he said you can have black friends, you could do this, you can have, give money to this, you can do money to that. And they say you still need to look closer about white privilege. I'm like sitting there, I'm like, if I was white. See, the white people I know like black people more than I do. The white people I know are more sympathetic and they don't they probably like them more. They may not love them more, or vice versa, one of those, than I do. Because I appreciate the black culture. There's some things I look there and I go and I say, it's just precious. Just nobody but us can do that. Nobody but us can do that. It's just certain things that are just so dear and precious to me. But there are some criticisms and some changes that need to be made internally. And I think these need to be discussed. And it's with black people playing the victim all the time. It's politically incorrect or unmannerly, I guess, to criticize the victim or to summarize what the victim could have done. If you're playing the victim role, you blame Whitey for everything. For Whitey to even suggest, how about you maybe having your kids able to know their ABCs, one, two, threes, and read by the time they go to college? Poverty. It's because of poverty in the schools. It's because of poverty and rental redlining and the non passing of wealth from the GI Bill that white people should feel guilty for because they came back from the war. They got the GI Bill. They were able to buy these homes and establish this real estate and pass it down so they have that wealth. They're not even aware of it. They're not even aware that they're racist because it's inherent. To be white means to be racist, and they don't know that. They need to read books. They need to study. Again, the white people I know are more aware and more conscious of certain things and empathetic and sympathetic of certain things than I ever will be and ever will want to be. I don't want to be that awoke. I don't. I'm happy where I'm at. In fact, apathy is a major component of happiness that a lot of these woke people are missing. Therefore, they aren't happy. But they can find solace and they can find meaning and they can find purpose and they can find fulfillment in the struggle of not being happy and going after that or this. But again, back to my point, you turn on TV now, NFL Network is talking about black people, what they can do to be black, what can we do, what can we do? And I'm thinking, what can you do? Okay, we're having a discussion. We get it. Black Lives Matter is everywhere. We get it. Black Lives Matter is legitimate. Colin Kaepernick was right. Okay. We're all going to try to be more inclusive. We're all going to try to do this. We're all going to try to do that. What's going to come of this? There's nothing you can do. I don't think there's nothing you can do unless you're just going to actually appoint black people into positions because they're black. It isn't that racism? And the definition of racism was recently changed. That's another thing. The definition of racism was recently changed to include oppression. Before it was just cutting it. Before racism meant just maybe like stereotyping. Or not even being prejudiced, just stereotyping. They're saying, oh, black people do that, black people do that. You see a black person, you assume that. You see a white person, you assume that. Using racial groups. But now I guess they had the word changed to mean you have to oppress. So now black people can't be a racist because they don't have the means to oppress anybody. Only white people could be racist now. Only white people could be racist now because they're the only ones who have the means to oppress somebody based on the new definition of racism. Again, don't get me wrong. I really don't care enough. Back to my apathy. I really don't care enough to get upset or to have a dog in this fight. I really don't. But I do have an opinion. And I love my opinion. And I love being subjective and Jeffery and expressing my opinion. Especially as it deflects or reflects or bounces back off opinions and stuff I see on CNN and on TV. I was listening to Don Lemon yesterday. He had some kind of podcast. And they just talked in circles. They just literally talked in circles for a half hour. You know, because there's nothing you can. I even want to listen to the whole thing just to see if they can get to a point that of actual action or something that can be done. And they just talked in circles. White people need to do this. White people need to understand. White people need to do this. They don't get it. Fish don't know it's wet. White people don't know their privilege. White people. I believe the change doesn't have to come from within the black population, the black community, and it has nothing to do with Whitey. And I call Whitey affectionately. And to kind of poke at black people who call Whitey and blame Whitey for everything. I love Whitey. Y'all might know that. Whitey been very, very good to me. I learned Whitey's system. I abided by Whitey's rules. I played by Whitey's game. I learned his dialect, his mannerisms. I learned how to walk like him. I learned how to flow with him, to put him at ease. And people say, well, I shouldn't have to do that because I'm black. You got to do that no matter what you are, even if you're green. Even white people got to do that. White people got to put other white people at ease. There's a certain energy or mood or way you act. Now, you can choose to act that way or not, whether you're white or black. And it is different if you're white, and it's different if you're black. But the unwritten rule is there. The unwritten rule is there. And it should be shown to you or taught to you at an early age to understand it, that life ain't fair. White people think this way, black people think that way. No, that's racial. Okay. And another thing, it may not be, okay, we may be saying color, black and white. It's culture. And the black skin or black pigmentation of a person is a pretty damn good predictor of the culture a person is from. Their skin color is I'm not gonna say 100%, but it's pretty damn a good idea of the culture that these people are from. And it's all about culture. Cultures are different. It's not about color. It may not even be about race, but certain races and certain colors kind of adhere to the norms and standards of certain cultures. Of course, it's not monolithic. Of course, there's outliers. But the culture is the difference. That's the thing. There are certain aspects of the black culture that don't easily interface with the white culture. That doesn't mean we can't get along. That means they're incompatible. But there's certain aspects of any culture that may come in a little bit of friction with other cultures. I don't give a damn what color you call it. Forget color, man. Let's just talk about culture. That's what I'm going to start doing. Forget color. It's not racism. It's culturism. Cultures are different. Cultures and understanding. My name is Jeffery. I got to stop. I think I did pretty good. I got to start getting ready I got to eat and get ready to do what I do. Swinging on y'all twice. Hey, I'm going to take y'all out with the intro. How about if I do that? Can I take you out with the intro? My name is Jeffery Scott Mitchell.
Ladies and gentlemen,
coming to you
welcome
from Jeffery TV.
Jeffery
Talking
TV.
about it. Trying to be about it, am I? Am I trying to be about it? Did that just jerk? It looked like that just stopped. Swinging on y'all.